Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the concept of Prashna Kundli. So guys, in one of my last upload on this channel, I briefly talked about the Prashna Kundli concept. And after that, I received this query in a lot of my different platforms where people are like very much curious about this topic, and they wanted to have an exclusive video or an exclusive discussion on this. So whatsoever my finding is in this topic, that I will try to explain in a very simple vernacular language. So guys, to begin with, like when we talk about how can Prashna Kundli guide us? So that's very simple, like the way at the time when you are born. So whatsoever is the planetary alignment at that specific time, that act as a guiding light for the rest of your life. And that is the only reason that your soul has chosen to take birth specific to that planetary alignment. So same way guys, Prashna Kundli could be understood in this way, that it is the birth chart of the question at that specific point of time. Second thing is that guys, definitely for someone to be receiving the right set of guidance through Prashna Kundli, there are certain list of eligibilities which are required. Like the way I always say this thing, that when we talk about astrology, so even if you have got strong mathematical skills, you can become a very good astrologer. But there are certain sciences, like for example, I say this thing for tarot. So tarot is one thing where either you have it or you do not have it. You cannot do it with practice, because somehow in tarot your intuition or the divine guidance plays a very pivotal role over there. So why I mentioned this thing for the Prashna Kundli, very soon you will get to know, because definitely guys, there are certain sciences when we talk about intuition. So Prashna Kundli becomes so interesting that it can be seen as a tool which can rationalize your hunches, your gut feel, your intuitive aspect right at that point of time. That whatsoever your intuition is guiding you via a Prashna Kundli, you can actually validate it, that is your intuition guiding you in the right direction, or it's just like that you're feeling just anxious, or you're just getting worried of no good reason. Same way guys, I always say this thing, that in our Vedic scriptures, there is one specific field which is assigned only for the study of the omens, like the Shakun Shastra we call it, which has explained in such a way that, for example, if you are leaving your place for something very important, and right at that point of time you saw someone in a very holy garb, you saw someone crossing, carrying a very holy book, some very important holy religious symbol, which I'm very much sure that like if you are living in some holy city, like for example in India, like you are living in Rishikesh, you are living in Vrindavan, so over there it's very like it's a common phenomena to sight a rishi or a sadhu or someone in that spiritual holy garb. But even over here, like if universe is hard bent on guiding you, and you are by yourself are very attuned to nature, to the cosmos, so you will keep on picking those signs and signals. Like there were, for example guys, what happened day before yesterday, there is this person who booked his Zoom consultation with me. So obviously when he will do all the formalities, immediate after that I received the notification. But the important thing is that the minute I got that notification and I opened that mail, right at that point of time there is a nun which crossed right in front of me, and which is not very common to see here in Vancouver, the area where I am living in. And you would not believe, the minute I opened his mail, a young 26-year-old guy, his query did not have anything to do with materialism, with career, with relationship, with marriage. It was all about his spiritual quest, regarding which he wanted me to look at his chart. So that is how universe can actually guide you. So guys, definitely when we talk about the Prashna Kundli concept, there are certain do's and don'ts which has not been mentioned anywhere, but I personally feel that it becomes very important for you to know that. First of all, just because we're talking about intuition, so in your chart, if you have the prominence of the water signs, that can play a very important role. Let's say for example your moon sign, moon becomes very important because you process everything from the moon. So if your moon sign is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or your moon is placed in the 4th house, 8th house, 12th house, this could be a very good indication. After that, guys, I say that 8th house becomes very important. If your ascendant lord is in the 8th house, this could be a very supporting sign. And also, guys, apart from moon and your ascendant, Jupiter and Ketu plays a very strong role, because Jupiter is like the divinity. It's like the gods or the blessing of your guru, and Ketu becomes very important, because if Ketu is strong, these kind of omens, these kind of indication, it's like the whole nature is working in synchronicity with you. Like the way this happens a lot many times to me, that whenever I'm thinking about something or I'm talking about someone, suddenly that name, that person, somehow in some unusual way appear right in front of me. Like for example, I'm talking about some random guy named Josh, and I'm talking to someone about Josh very elaboratively, and suddenly I see, hey, in that furniture we did not notice, see, Josh is written over there, and we were talking about him. So it's just like that. It's just a random example, but the point is Ketu becomes very important for nature, cosmos, omens to guide you. I still remember, guys, there is one incident which happened back at the time when I was living in India. So as usual, like going to temple is always a part of my daily schedule, and that time I guess I was just doing my MBA and all, so I used to have free time as well. So I remember that day, close to my place there was this temple in Khan Market. I was coming out of the, after doing my darshan from that temple, and suddenly I do not know what to call them. It's like there's one person who was dressed as like goddess Kali, or in a very kind of scary kind of makeup or something like that. Now many people say that these people have done some shamshan sadhana or something, where they have got some access over some spirit or something which whisper things in their ear and they predict things, whatever it is. But looking at his intimidating and scary garb, I suddenly got scared. The minute I jumped into car, like I got into car, I just wanted to avoid that contact, and he did something, he said some things in anger, and banged his hand on my window, on my door. And the minute from there, I was going for my morning jog. After doing that darshan, I was going for my morning jog in Lodhi Garden, which was nearby. And it never happened. Suddenly, when I took a turn, there was this bird, I don't know from where it came, and banged on my car windshield, and it fell, got injured. But when I noticed, it flew again, but it got injured. So something which was with this guy, he tried to do to harm me in form of some spell or whatever it is, but universe or nature was there to guide me, and it took it on itself in order to safeguard me. So there are so many experiences which I will keep on telling on different occasions. But okay, now guys, coming back to the concept of Prashna Kundli. So first of all, your intuitive aspect has to be strong, which can be studied through studying your moon, your Jupiter, your Ketu in your chart. Second thing is that if you are a anxious person, you are a very restless person, then Prashna Kundli is not for you. Guys, the objective of Prashna Kundli is that, or objective of any sort of divine guidance is that you have put your faith in the divine and you're asking for the guidance. Now, the person you are going to, he is just that medium to give you the answer which the universe or divine has in store for you. Through your prayers, whatever the universe wants to the path which universe has in store for you, that person will act only as a medium. So over here as well, guys, like after putting your whole hearted faith in the universe, in the God, in your Ish Devta, in your Guru, you are drawing that chart to find that answer. But let's say, for example, if for the same question, you keep on doing that after every half an hour, dialing up different people, or then it's not gonna be of any use whatsoever, because Prashna Kundli concept is very simple. Like the way at the time when we are born, our birth chart is the chart of our soul. So same way Prashna Kundli is, you draw the chart right at that time when that question has come to your mind, when that situation has arisen in front of you. Guys, you would not believe even the extent of tarot reading or Prashna Kundli is to such a extent that I still remember back in India before moving to Canada full time, permanently I mean to say. So I used to operate from one place in a mall where I used to do readings, and it happened once that there was this lady. She came to me for tarot reading. The minute she came, she sat in front of me. I was like, yes ma'am, you tell me what my question is. You are a reader, you tell me what my question is. So the same way in Prashna Kundli, a lot many times it will also happen that this science or this tool also has got this much potential to even get to know the question for which the querent or for the client has come to you. So that is more applicable for people who want to do that professionally, but here I'm just talking about as a layman, for your own curiosity, how can you be getting guided through Prashna Kundli. That is something which we are trying to do. So okay guys, for the Prashna Kundli, now we will straight away jump to the concept or topic in hand. So there are two ways. One is through the basic horary, how can you get the guidance, and second tool is KP system, KP Cuspal Sublord concept, which I will take later on. So first of all guys, it's very simple. All what you have to do is that whatsoever point of time the question comes to your mind, like for example, let's take up the case that it's June 6th, 2023. You are on way to work at 11 a.m. Like you are not driving, you are in a transit because you are free to use your phone, and which has got all the apps, and suddenly you got an email regarding a job position for which you might get considered, and you are right now in a very secured place, but this could be a good opportunity for you. So this could be one of the curiosity or probable question. Let's say for example, you met someone in a party and you got introduced to someone. Now following day you got to know that that person is now taking interest in going out with you. Now you are in a doubtful state that how authentic this person is, how genuine is it to go out with this person, or this could be any of those concerns. So guys, what matter is that the way I generally do Prashna Kundli is that after praying to your Isht Devta, whatsoever entity you have your wholehearted faith, you will draw the chart right at that point of time with that question in mind. The minute the chart will get opened up, now what you have to do is that first of all, and guys, one more thing which I want to add over here, I forgot to mention. That is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that it's not very strongly I would recommend to the expert astrologers or the professional astrologers, because for that I do not want to make this video on very advanced level. This is just a basic level, because what happened is that someone like me, I do astrology professionally. It's not like that it's something very complimentary thing which I am doing. It's a part of my profession. I have to be updated about the hora which are operating on day, the time of the lagna, which sign is rising during the day, or where the planets are placed. So if you are already aware of that, you know that today moon is transiting in this sign, in this nakshatra, or during at this time this lagna is going to be rising. So then Prashna might not be whatsoever techniques I'm explaining over here might not work out very strongly for you, because in the back of your mind you already knew everything, that where moon is, because it's more about the moon, because slow moving planets, we all know that they stay in one sign for a long span of time. But if you already know in the back of your mind that okay, during this time this sign is going to be rising, moon today is transiting in this nakshatra in this sign, then it might not be very much kind of in a divine guided way could help you. So all the concepts which I'm sharing right now is more applicable for the novice people or for the beginners. So okay guys, now coming back to the question. So the minute you key in all the details for the curiosity, for the question which you have, you prayed to your Isht Devta and you draw the chart right at that point of time. So first thing which you have to do is that first house and the condition of that will become very important. Like for example, if you have malefic planets being placed over there, like in the category of malefic, we say Saturn is malefic, Mars is malefic, Rahu, Ketu are malefic, and rather I would say Sun is also mild malefic. So because of which guys, if you will find that malefic planets are placed in the first house and the first house lord is not in a strengthened state, then this will give this indication that it's like the question for which you have drawn the chart, the energy is not very harmonious, it's not very favorable. So that's the first indication. Lagan becomes very, very important, whether it's the Prashna Kundli, whether it's the divisional charts, or whatsoever your concern is. So the first house and assessment of the first house will become very, very important. Second thing is that which specific area your query is aligned in the chart. So if your query is about relationship, 7th house. If it's about like professional opportunity, this is 10th house. If it has to do with your friends or with your siblings, it's the 3rd house. If it has to do primarily with the finance, 2nd house. If it has to do with anything with the speculation or media opportunity, this is the 5th house. Anything to do with the car, with the house, it's the 4th house. Anything to do with your lawsuit or health related concern, this is the 6th house. So because of that, guys, when you draw a chart, you have to see the state and condition of the Lagan rising at that point of time. And second point is that with whichsoever house your question is getting aligned, what is the state of that house? What is the state and condition of that house lord? That will give you exact indication. After that, guys, definitely even in the Prashna Kundli as well, the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house is not considered as good. And out of all these houses as well, a lot many times it has been seen that when people approach for the Prashna Kundli expert, it is for the lost items. So 12th house generally tells about that the lost item might not be found. 8th house is always a house of negation. It's like a house of that the wish which you are chasing at that point of time is not very healthy for you. There are very hidden forces acting over there, like the Prashna Kundli, the first house lord has gone to the 8th house, or whatsoever your aspiration is, that house lord has gone to the 8th house. This is a very affirmative indication of the question leaning more towards a no. It's negating that. And 6th house generally is a house of conflict. So this is also not giving us a harmonious indication. Any of the indication combination which is getting formed with the trine houses, with the Prashna Kundli Lagan, and the house which is important for your aspiration, making any combination with the 9th house could be very harmonious for you. And lastly, guys, I would say like that when I briefly mentioned the concept of the KP system. So in the KP system for the Prashna Kundli, okay, you do not have to go that in detail, that you have to draw the Lagna through picking up any one number from 1 to 249, which generally KP astrologer practitioners they follow. All what you have to do is that I will give you a very basic doctrine to get the Prashna Kundli answers through KP, which is, first of all, you have to understand that in KP system, 12th house to any house negates that result. Second thing is that the cuspal sub-lord becomes very important. So all what matters is that, like the way I mentioned this thing, if your concern is of the relationship, of marriage, so that means 7th house. So all what you have to do is that there are so many free astrology apps. One which I use is Astro Sage. So in the Astro Sage app as well, there is a section for KP. So once you key in your details, then you go to the KP system. Over there you go to the once you key in the details, it will give you the chart of that minute, that point of time. After that, when you will go to the KP system, you go to the house or I would say the cuspal section, which you can see in your screen. So for example, if your concern is about the 7th house of the relationship, if it has to do with the house, it has to be doing something with the 4th house. So you have to see that house cuspal sublord, which planet is the cuspal sublord. So for example, if the concern, your query, your prashna is of the marriage, of the relationship, you have to see the 7th cuspal sublord. So for example, if that sublord is placed in the like for example 9th house, it's a good indication. 11th house, which is the house of wish fulfillment, it's again a positive yes. And let's say for example, if your concern is of the marriage and the 7th cuspal sublord is placed in the 6th, it is 12th from it, so it is negating that, then it's a affirmative no. So same is the case, guys. Let's say for example, if your concern is something to do with the short travel, which you like, which your gut feel is not allowing you, but your best friend is forcing you to go on that short trip with that person, with him. So the minute you open the Prashna Kundli for that, you went to the KP system, you see the third house cuspal sublord. So third cuspal sublord, let's say for example, is a planet which is placed in the second house. So that means it is 12th from it, it is negating it, then this is a affirmative no as the question's answer. So guys, the gist of this video is that I'm very much sure that it's a very elaborative concept. In this one small video, I try to actually just initiate you for this thing, because a lot many times we are surrounded by these perplexing situations and all, and if you are already following astrology, so you do not have to go to a tarot reader, you do not have to draw a whole lot of calculation. All what you have to do is that just pray to the god, pray to your Ishta Devta or whatsoever entity you have faith in, that I am seeking the guidance of this question of mine, and then you key in the details of that specific point of time, and the chart which will get opened, you have to see the first house of that, that in which dignity, in which condition it is in. If it is straight away has gone to the 8th house, it's a affirmative no. If it has gone to the 9th house, 11th house, it's a very positive yes. And over there as well, guys, if I'll make further videos, I will tell you later on that if there is a movable sign rising in the Lagan of the Prashna Kundli, it can be affirmative yes. If it is a fixed sign, not strong possibility, and if it's a dual sign, it means it's a confused state. So there's a lot of things which will go into it, but as a beginner level, just as a takeaway of this video, you have to see the Lagan which you will draw at that point of time, and with whatsoever your aspiration is, if it has to do with education or it has to do with the children, so 5th house. So you have to see the first house of the Prashna Kundli and the house specific to your query, the condition of that house, the house lord will give you a strong indication. And trust me guys, if your intuitive faculties are strong, Prashna Kundli will give you accurate answer. I am very much sure all what is required is for you to work on it, decode it, and you will get the guidance which you have been seeking. So yes guys, it was just a basic overview. In the next coming days, I will think about adding some more layer to it, and I will plan for making some more videos on the concept of Prashna Kundli with some reference examples as well. So for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.